Welcome to our channel. Get ready to explore some of the rarest and most valuable Lincoln Memorial pennies ever made. These coins aren't just change, they're hidden treasures that collectors dream of finding. With a fascinating history and rare minting errors, these pennies hold stories worth millions. Stick around to uncover what makes these pennies truly priceless. It's easy to overlook a penny. We all do it. They pile up in jars, slip between car seats, and sit quietly at the bottom of drawers. But sometimes, one of those little copper coins turns out to be something far more significant than spare change. And among those hidden treasures is the 1968 Lincoln cent, specifically, the one with no mint mark, a coin that, under the right circumstances, has stunned collectors with its rarity, condition, and value. To understand why this coin matters, we first need to go back a bit in time. The Lincoln cent has been in continuous production since 1909, introduced to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first circulating U.S. coin to feature a real person, breaking the tradition of using symbolic figures, and it marked the beginning of modern American coin design. In 1968, the United States Mint was operating in several locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins struck in Denver carry a D mint mark, while those from San Francisco are marked with an S. But coins from Philadelphia, traditionally, were not given a mint mark at all, and this is where things get interesting. The 1968 penny without a mint mark was struck in Philadelphia, and while it's not uncommon in circulated condition, certain versions of it are extremely difficult to find in top quality. The design itself is familiar. On the obverse, the profile of Abraham Lincoln faces right, a portrait originally sculpted by Victor David Brenner. Above his head is the word Liberty, and to the right, the date, 1968, with no letter beneath it, signifying Philadelphia. On the reverse side is the Lincoln Memorial, introduced in 1959 to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. If you look closely, you can even see a tiny depiction of Lincoln seated inside the memorial, an unusual detail for a coin of that era. The reverse also features the phrases United States of America and E pluribus unum, along with 1 cent boldly across the bottom. In terms of design, there's nothing out of the ordinary, but what makes this coin special isn't how it looks. It's how it was made, and more importantly, how it was preserved. The Philadelphia Mint struck hundreds of millions of pennies in 1968. Most were released into general circulation, used in everyday transactions, and subjected to years, even decades, of wear. So today, it's very easy to find a 1968 no mint mark penny in average condition. You'll see scratches, dull surfaces, maybe a bit of discoloration. These coins are worth face value, and they're not hard to come by, but finding a 1968 no mint mark penny in exceptional, untouched condition, that's something else entirely. In the world of coin collecting, condition is everything. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. Anything above 65 is considered mint state, and anything 67 or higher is rare, especially for a coin that was never intended to be collected in the first place. The vast majority of 1968 pennies were handled, stored poorly, or tossed in boxes. A small number, however, managed to survive in pristine condition, often because they were sealed in mint sets or stored away carefully by someone who noticed the shine and clarity of the strike. Collectors seek out these high-grade examples for registry sets, collections where only the finest coins are included. And when a coin like the 1968 no mint mark penny is found with near-perfect detail, bright luster, and smooth surfaces, it becomes a top-tier collectible. There are only a handful of such coins known to exist in MS 67 or higher, making them incredibly scarce in today's market. Another aspect that adds value is the strength of the strike. Coins that show full, sharp detail in Lincoln's hair, the lettering, and the steps of the Lincoln Memorial are far more desirable. Even slight variations in clarity can change a coin's grade and, therefore, its value. Then there are error varieties. Some 1968 pennies have been found with doubling, known as double die obverse or double die reverse, where the lettering or numbers appear to have a shadow or doubling effect. These errors occurred during the die-making process and are highly collectible, especially when the coin is also in excellent condition. Error coins from this year are rare, but when they do appear, they tend to attract serious attention from collectors. With all of this in mind, the historical significance, the design continuity, the minting history, and the challenge of finding a high-grade survivor, the 1968 no-mint mark penny becomes far more than a common coin. It becomes a sought-after piece of numismatic history, and this is where things get really interesting. While most people would glance at a 1968 penny and think nothing of it, one exceptional example, graded at the highest known level and displaying near-perfect preservation, was valued at an astonishing $123,000. That's right. A penny, 1 cent, turning into six figures because of its condition, scarcity, and collector demand. So if you come across a 1968 penny with no mint mark, don't dismiss it. Look closely. Is the strike sharp? Is the color original and vibrant? Are there few or no contact marks? If so, you might be holding something special, a piece of American minting history that has quietly grown in value over the decades. Stick around, because we've got even more fascinating coins to uncover, and the next one might just surprise you. Let's move on to a coin that most people wouldn't give a second glance, but they should. It's the 1988 Lincoln cent with no mint mark. A penny that, on the surface, seems like one of the most common coins out there. You've likely seen dozens of them in your lifetime, maybe even tossed a few into a tip jar or left one behind at the checkout. But this tiny coin carries a much bigger story than most realize. Now, it's important to understand the context. By 1988, the Lincoln cent had already been a fixture in American currency for nearly 80 years. It was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. It was also the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, and not just any figure, but one of the most respected presidents in American history. On the 1988 penny, we still see Victor David Brenner's iconic portrait of Lincoln on the obverse, facing right. His expression is calm and composed, capturing his enduring legacy. Just to the left, the word liberty, and above, the national motto, "In God We Trust." To the right of Lincoln's profile is the date, 1988, and this is where it gets interesting. You'll notice there's no mint mark under the date. That tells us this coin was minted in Philadelphia, which, at the time, did not include a mint mark on its 1-cent coins. Now here's the key: while this no mint mark variation is technically standard for Philadelphia-struck pennies, finding one in truly exceptional condition is anything but ordinary. Over 6.2 billion of these pennies were minted that year at the Philadelphia Mint. That's a huge number, billions of coins, released into circulation and used in everyday life. Most of them were banged up, worn down, and eventually forgotten. But among all those billions, there are only a few that were never touched, never circulated, never damaged, and those are the ones collectors chase. But rarity and condition isn't the only thing that gives this coin its edge. Let's talk about one of the most fascinating aspects of the 1988 Lincoln cent, the transitional reverse design. Some 1988 pennies were accidentally struck using a reverse die intended for 1989. That design update was subtle, but detectable. The main difference? The styling and positioning of the initials, FG, for designer Frank Gasparo, which appear near the base of the Lincoln Memorial. In the 1988 reverse, the initials are further from the building, while the updated 1989 reverse brings them in tighter. This accidental crossover, the 1988 obverse paired with a 1989 reverse, is now one of the most sought-after varieties from this period. These transitional error coins weren't supposed to exist. They occurred during die changes at the mint, an overlooked mistake at the time, but a prized discovery in the world of numismatics. Adding to the appeal are known errors such as die cracks, off-center strikes, double dies, and even clipped planchets, all of which can raise a coin's value when combined with mint state preservation. Now, condition plays a huge role in the value of any coin, especially modern ones. Collectors and grading experts use the Sheldon scale, which runs from 1 to 70. A heavily worn coin might fall in the 10 to 20 range, while coins in the 60s are considered mint state, meaning they show no signs of wear from circulation. When a coin is graded MS-66, MS-67, or MS-68, it's considered top tier, especially for a coin that was never intended to be saved, and that's the situation with this 1988 no mint mark penny. It wasn't part of a special proof set. It wasn't a commemorative. It was a regular, everyday coin that just happened to survive in remarkable condition, sharp details, no blemishes, full red copper luster, and a strong strike. When coins like this are certified by grading agencies like PCGS or NGC, and receive those upper-tier grades, they enter a completely different market, one where registry collectors and specialists are willing to pay serious money to secure one of the best-known examples. These coins often end up in competitive collections, where collectors aim to own the finest graded version available. Even a single point difference in grade can mean thousands of dollars more in value. That's why so much attention is paid to even the tiniest imperfections. A nick, a spot, or faint discoloration can dramatically affect price. Collectors will often compare surfaces under magnification, checking for die polish lines, strike quality, and color consistency. And when all the right traits come together, a penny like this moves from common coinage to collector gold. So, how high can a coin like this go? Well, one flawless 1988 no mint mark penny, preserved in nearly perfect condition and backed by official certification, sold for a staggering $72,000. Yes, a single cent $72,000. It's the kind of number that makes you want to double-check your coin jar, your childhood collection, or that old roll of pennies you've kept tucked away for years. Because you just never know what might be hiding in plain sight, and it's not only about selling, it's about owning a piece of minting history. These high-grade coins tell a story. They survived not because they were meant to, but because someone, somewhere, noticed something special, a shine, a clean strike, a detail, and saved it. Next up, we're spotlighting a coin that might seem ordinary at first glance, but holds a surprising allure for collectors and history enthusiasts alike, the 1994 Lincoln cent with no mint mark. This humble penny, so familiar and common in everyday transactions, carries a story that's anything but ordinary. The 1994 Lincoln cent features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a design that has been a staple on the penny for decades. On the obverse, Victor David Brenner's finely detailed engraving shows Lincoln in profile, his expression calm and reflective. Around him, the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," frame the date, 1994. Notably, there is no mint mark beneath the date, indicating this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not use a mint mark on pennies at that time. That year, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 6.5 billion of these pennies, an almost unfathomable number. These pennies were intended for mass circulation, exchanged millions of times, jingling in pockets, piggy banks, and cash registers nationwide. Given their widespread use, most of these coins show signs of wear, faded details, scratches, and a loss of their original coppery glow. Yet, hidden among the millions, some pennies were spared the wear and tear of daily life. These mint-state coins, sometimes still bearing the original bright copper sheen, sharp details, and flawless surfaces, are the true treasures that collectors covet. They represent a moment frozen in time, a snapshot of the mint's craftsmanship, preserved through decades, but condition is only part of the story. The 1994 penny also offers an intriguing layer for numismatists: minting errors and variations. These include die cracks, double dies, and other subtle anomalies that arise during the coin striking process. For example, die cracks appear when the metal dies used to strike coins develop tiny fissures, which then imprint on the coin itself. These cracks might look like fine lines or raised ridges, giving the coin a unique character. Another sought-after variety involves the famed double die effect, where parts of the design appear duplicated or slightly shifted due to an error in the die creation. While not every 1994 penny exhibits these errors, those that do are highly prized by collectors. Beyond errors, the minting process itself is a marvel of precision and engineering. Each penny begins as a small copper-coated zinc disc called a planchet. This planchet is then fed into a coin press, where it is struck between two steel dies engraved with the penny's design, impressing Lincoln's image and inscriptions onto its surface. Any imperfections in the dies, or slight misalignments during striking, can produce rare and valuable variations. Collectors pay close attention to these details, as they significantly affect a coin's value and rarity. Modern coin grading uses the Sheldon scale, which rates coins on a spectrum from 1, poor condition, to 70, perfect mint state. A 1994 penny graded MS 65 or above is extremely rare, given the mass circulation and general handling of these coins, owning such a coin is not only about financial value, it's about preserving a piece of history. It's fascinating to hold an example of a coin that has survived decades unscathed, untouched by the wear and tear that affects the vast majority of pennies minted. In recent years, collectors have shown growing interest in these well-preserved 1994 no-mint mark pennies. The market for high-grade examples, especially those with verified minting errors, is strong. While typical pennies remain worth just a fraction of a dollar, pristine specimens can command a premium. Depending on the coin's condition and rarity, a 1994 no-mint mark penny can be extremely valuable. Some of the finest examples have been valued at around $65,000, making them prized pieces in any serious collection. These coins serve as a reminder of the unexpected value that everyday objects can hold. What seems like spare change might actually be a rare and valuable collectible waiting to be discovered. Many collectors urge people to check their old coin jars, boxes, or collections carefully. That forgotten 1994 penny could be worth far more than its face value. Moreover, the story behind these coins enriches their appeal. It's about how a simple piece of metal can carry so much history, craftsmanship, and intrigue within its small frame. The 1994 no-mint mark penny tells a tale of meticulous minting, chance survival, and the passionate community of collectors who treasure these tiny time capsules. As the numismatic community continues to grow, the demand for rare and high-quality coins like this 1994 penny only increases. Auctions, private sales, and collector forums buzz with excitement whenever one surfaces, especially in mint condition. These pennies have truly earned their place as coveted collector's items. So next time you come across a 1994 penny without a mint mark, take a moment to inspect it. Look for its shine, check the sharpness of Lincoln's features, and see if you can spot any unusual markings or double die effects. That penny might just be a rare gem, quietly waiting to be appreciated. Its value depends on many factors: condition, rarity, and collector demand, but in the right hands, these pennies have been known to reach astonishing worth. For those interested in numismatics, it's a thrilling discovery. Let's move on to a coin that many may overlook, but one that holds a fascinating place in modern American numismatics, the 2001 cent penny with no mint mark. At first glance, it may appear to be just another everyday penny, but in the world of coin collecting, looks can be deceiving. This seemingly ordinary coin carries an intriguing story and, when found in the right condition, commands an impressive value. The year 2000 was a milestone for the nation, the dawn of a new millennium. While the world was buzzing with celebrations, the U.S. Mint quietly produced billions of pennies, continuing the long-standing tradition of featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. The no mint mark indicates this penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which did not add mint marks to pennies during this period. Though common in circulation, it's the pennies that escape the wear and tear of everyday use that captivate collectors today. Let's talk design. The 2000 penny carries the classic Lincoln portrait, created by Victor David Brenner over a century ago. His image has become synonymous with the coin itself, symbolizing American heritage and the nation's enduring respect for its 16th president. The obverse also features "Liberty" to Lincoln's left and the national motto, "In God We Trust," above, proudly displayed. Flipping the coin reveals the Lincoln Memorial, an iconic symbol of American ideals, carefully engraved on the reverse. But what makes this coin truly special isn't just its design. It's the chance that one of these billions survived unscathed, in mint state condition, untouched by circulation, preserving every minute detail and the original copper luster. This is where collectors' hearts race. Coins that have been protected from scratches, dirt, or fading for over 2 decades are incredibly rare. In fact, the preservation of these pennies defies the odds. Consider the journey of an average penny, from the mint's presses, to the cash register, through countless hands and wallets, and often thrown into coin jars or lost in couch cushions. Most pennies wear down quickly and lose their appeal to collectors. But a lucky few escape this fate, maintaining their pristine beauty, sharp details, and full mint luster. These coins are often discovered in uncirculated rolls, old coin collections, or even by chance in everyday transactions. Collectors are also keenly interested in any minting anomalies or errors that may be present on these coins. The minting process, while highly precise, is not perfect. Variations such as die cracks, double dies, off-center strikes, or clipped planchets can add an extra layer of rarity. When such errors combine with an uncirculated condition, the coin's desirability and value can multiply significantly. Understanding coin grading is key to appreciating how such coins command their price. The Sheldon scale, ranging from 1 to 70, measures a coin's condition. Most pennies found in circulation fall between 1 and 50, showing varying degrees of wear and damage. Coins graded MS 65, MS 66, or even higher are considered mint state, essentially perfect coins with no signs of circulation. These grades are rare for a coin that was made for everyday use. Professional grading companies, such as PCGS or NGC, certify these high-grade coins, verifying their condition and authenticity. This certification often raises a coin's market value exponentially, providing collectors with confidence in their investment. The market for these top-condition 2000 no-mint mark pennies is quite active. Serious collectors and investors are always on the lookout for the best examples. Because of this, some specimens have reached values well into the tens of thousands of dollars. Depending on condition and any special minting characteristics, some of these coins are worth over $41,000. This fact challenges the common misconception that pennies minted in the 2000s hold little to no value. While many pennies from this era are abundant and low in price, it's those rare, flawless examples that prove how the intersection of condition and scarcity creates significant worth. Moreover, these coins serve as time capsules, preserving a moment in American history. The 2000 penny represents not just a coin but a piece of the cultural fabric, connecting collectors to the past through its artistry and enduring symbolism. So, the next time you find a 2000 penny without a mint mark, take a moment to examine it closely. Look for brilliant copper color, sharp relief on Lincoln's profile, and crisp lettering. Check for any unusual features or errors that might indicate something special. If it looks untouched by time, you could be holding a rare gem. Remember, collecting coins is as much about the stories they tell as the values they hold. Each penny has its own journey, and uncovering these stories adds excitement and depth to the hobby. In summary, the 2000 USA 1-cent penny with no mint mark, especially in mint state condition and with any minting variations, is a remarkable coin. Its value depends heavily on its preservation and rarity, and some of the best specimens can fetch prices upwards of $41,000. If you ever come across a 2000 no mint mark penny looking flawless, it's definitely worth a closer look, and maybe even a professional grading. So don't overlook those pennies, your next treasure might be hiding in plain sight. Stick around, because there's much more fascinating coin history and rare finds coming up next. Up next, we have a coin that many might overlook at first glance, the 2012 USA 1-cent penny with no mint mark. To the average eye, it might seem like just another ordinary penny, something you've probably handled countless times without a second thought. But as any seasoned collector will tell you, sometimes the most unassuming coins hide the most fascinating stories and can be worth far more than their face value suggests. This particular penny, with its missing mint mark, has quietly become one of the most sought-after pieces among modern coin enthusiasts, commanding attention due to its rarity and the unique circumstances surrounding its production. Let's take a moment to understand what makes this coin so exceptional. The Philadelphia Mint, where this coin was produced, is one of the oldest and most historically significant mints in the United States. Established in 1792, Philadelphia has been the birthplace of billions of American coins and played a vital role in shaping the nation's currency system. For much of its history, pennies minted there did not carry any mint mark at all, simply because Philadelphia was considered the default location. If a coin didn't have a mint mark, collectors and the public assumed it came from Philadelphia. However, over the decades, minting practices evolved. As more mints opened and production expanded to locations such as Denver and San Francisco, mint marks became essential to distinguish where a coin was struck. Today, the P stands for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco. Including mint marks helps collectors track variations and allows the mint to manage production across multiple facilities. In 2012, the accepted standard was to include a P mint mark on all pennies produced at the Philadelphia Mint. But, in what appears to have been a small production oversight or anomaly, a limited number of pennies were struck without the mint mark. It's unclear whether this was due to a die mix-up, an equipment error, or a simple human mistake, but whatever the cause, it created a rare and intriguing variety. Considering that over 8 billion pennies were produced in 2012, the batch missing the P is vanishingly rare by comparison. This rarity makes the 2012 no mint mark penny a fascinating find for collectors. But rarity alone isn't enough to drive serious interest or value. Condition plays a critical role. Pennies, more than almost any other coin, tend to suffer from heavy wear. They are handled constantly, jostled in pockets and cash registers, exposed to dirt and moisture, and often discarded. As a result, the majority of pennies you find in circulation will show significant signs of wear, scratches, tarnish, loss of detail. That's why finding a 2012 no mint mark penny in mint state condition, meaning it shows no signs of wear and looks nearly as crisp and fresh as the day it left the mint, is exceptionally rare and valuable. Collectors call this MS, or mint state, grading, and the scale runs from MS 60 to MS 70, with the latter being a perfect coin. A coin graded MS 65 or higher is considered a premium collectible. It preserves the fine details, such as the sharpness of Lincoln's profile, the definition of his hair, and the legibility of the inscriptions like Liberty and the date. Grading experts also look closely at surface luster, strike quality, and any imperfections like scratches, discoloration, or planchet flaws. The better the coin's grade, the more it commands among collectors and dealers. For the 2012 no mint mark penny, an MS 65 or higher example can fetch significantly more than its 1 cent face value, sometimes hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on demand and market trends. In fact, some of these rare pennies have sold for truly astonishing amounts. Pristine specimens graded MS 67 or above have reportedly reached prices as high as $26,000 in private sales and auctions. This remarkable figure highlights just how valuable and coveted these coins can become, especially when rarity and exceptional condition combine. It's a striking example of how a humble penny, produced in the billions, can suddenly transform into a priceless collector's item because of a small, overlooked detail, or in this case, the absence of one. What makes this coin even more captivating is that it tells a story beyond its physical form. It's a tangible snapshot of a unique moment in the history of U.S. coin production, a reminder that even in highly automated, precision-driven environments like the U.S. Mint, errors and quirks can slip through. These small imperfections and variations are what make coin collecting so endlessly fascinating. They capture the human element behind the machinery and regulations, unlike other error coins that are more obvious, like double dies, off-center strikes, or wrong planchets. The 2012 no mint mark penny's value lies in its subtlety. The absence of a tiny letter, something most people would overlook, transforms an everyday coin into a rare collectible. It invites collectors to slow down, look closely, and appreciate the little details that tell a bigger story. So next time you come across a 2012 penny, don't just toss it into your change jar. Take a closer look. Check for that tiny P mint mark. If it's missing, you could be holding a rare piece of American coinage history in your hand, a quiet reminder that sometimes, the smallest details, or the absence of them, can turn a humble penny into something truly extraordinary. Moving to the last coin for today's video, let's take an in-depth look at one of the most fascinating modern U.S. pennies out there, the 2017 USA 1 cent coin. At first glance, it might look like any other penny, familiar copper color, Abraham Lincoln's face on the front, and the Union Shield design on the back. But what makes the 2017 penny truly special is a rare minting error that transformed it from ordinary pocket change into a highly sought-after collectible. To understand why this coin is so rare and valuable, we need to go behind the scenes to the U.S. Mint, where billions of coins are produced each year with incredible speed and precision. In 2017 alone, the Mint struck over 1 billion pennies, making it one of the most produced coins in recent history. But even with the most sophisticated machinery and quality control, mistakes sometimes happen, and these mistakes can create coins that become priceless to collectors. The key to the 2017 penny's rarity lies in a unique error during the minting process. Normally, pennies are struck on thin, copper-plated zinc planchets designed to strict specifications. However, a small number of pennies were accidentally struck on thicker planchets that were meant for other coins or possibly blank metal discs from different runs. This makes these pennies noticeably thicker and heavier than a standard penny. If you hold one of these error coins, you'll instantly feel the difference. It's a solid coin that stands out from the others in your pocket. In addition to the thickness, the color may be slightly off, often showing a deeper copper tone or even a duller finish because of the unusual metal composition. What makes these error pennies so special is how rare they are. The U.S. Mint has strict processes to catch and destroy error coins before they ever reach circulation. So for any of these 2017 penny errors to have escaped inspection and ended up in the hands of collectors or everyday people is truly remarkable. This rarity drives their desirability and significantly impacts their collectible value. Condition plays an important role in how valuable these coins can be. Many of the 2017 penny errors that survive are found in excellent condition, with sharp details on Lincoln's profile and clear design lines on the Union shield. Coins that show little to no wear and retain their original mint luster are highly prized by collectors and tend to command the best prices. Collectors are also fascinated by the story behind these coins. They represent a moment when modern minting technology and human oversight intersected to create something unique. In a way, these pennies are little time capsules, proof that even the most routine, mass-produced objects can contain surprises and imperfections that make them extraordinary. If you think you might have a 2017 penny error in your collection or pocket, it's worth inspecting closely. Look for differences in thickness, weight, and color compared to regular pennies. Some collectors even use simple scales to detect a heavier coin or a magnifying glass to spot subtle design inconsistencies. Because these differences can be subtle, consulting with a professional coin grader or numismatist is a smart next step to confirm authenticity. Getting a coin professionally graded not only verifies that it's a genuine error but also provides a condition rating that helps establish its market value. Certified coins are easier to buy, sell, and trade because buyers have confidence in their authenticity and quality. The market for these 2017 penny errors has grown steadily. While I won't quote specific prices here, it's safe to say that coins in excellent condition and with confirmed mint errors can be worth significantly more than their face value, sometimes attracting serious collectors and investors willing to pay premium amounts. This coin's story also reminds us that value isn't always obvious at first glance. What looks like simple pocket change could be a rare collectible hiding in plain sight. This is the beauty of coin collecting, the thrill of discovery, the chance to find a treasure where you least expect it. The 2017 penny error is a modern-day numismatic mystery that continues to captivate enthusiasts. Every year, more collectors are learning about these rare coins, and interest continues to rise. It's a testament to how even today's coins can carry stories and surprises. As we close out today's video, remember this: the 2017 USA 1-cent penny error coin isn't just a coin, it's a rare piece of minting history that tells a fascinating story about precision, rarity, and the unexpected. It's a must-watch for anyone interested in coins, collecting, or even just the hidden stories behind everyday objects. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive into one of the most interesting modern penny errors. Since this was the last coin for today's video, please don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss out on more amazing coin stories and rare finds in the future. Got a rare coin or unusual minting error you want me to explore? Drop your ideas in the comments. I love hearing from you and uncovering new coin mysteries together. Until next time, keep your eyes sharp and your curiosity alive. You never know when a penny in your pocket could be a hidden treasure.